Urgent Baltimore Ravens fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Baltimore Ravens updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Ravens fans, today we have some explosive news that's stirring up the entire NFL community. And if you're a die-hard supporter of the purple and black, you're going to want to stay tuned because what's happening right now could define the Ravens season ahead. The NFL offseason has been packed with trades, signings, and strategic moves, but one story is standing out more than ever. And it's all about a familiar face potentially returning to Baltimore. Yes, I'm talking about Jadeveon Clowney, the three-time Pro Bowler, one of the most physically gifted edge rushers in the league, who might be on his way back to the Ravens after a one-year stint away. You see, Clowney was released just yesterday by the Carolina Panthers, a team he joined last season after signing a 2-year deal worth around $20 million. And that move, believe it or not, has opened a window of opportunity for Baltimore. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would the Ravens bring back Clowney? Isn't he past his prime? Well, that's what makes this story so intriguing. Because despite his age, he's now 32, Clowney remains a disruptive force on the field, and his familiarity with Baltimore's system and culture could be just what the team needs to bolster their pass rush for the upcoming season. Let's rewind a bit and look at Clowney's previous impact in Baltimore. Remember, he played just one season with the Ravens in 2023, but what a season it was. Clowney tied his career high with 9.5 sacks in that campaign, and he was a key component in Baltimore's defensive front. His explosiveness off the edge, his ability to set the edge against the run, and his relentless motor made him a fan favorite quickly. And for the Ravens, bringing him back could mean maintaining continuity on defense while adding a vital veteran presence, especially in a division as competitive as the AFC North. Now, why is the AFC North so important here? Well, it's arguably the toughest division for quarterbacks in the entire league, especially since 2020, according to some of the most recent analytics. The division features the Bengals' Joe Burrow, the Browns' Deshaun Watson, and the Steelers' Kenny Pickett, each with their own unique skill sets and offensive threats. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson at the helm, are always in the mix, but their defense needs to be stout, disruptive, and capable of quick adjustments. Clowney, with his pass-rushing prowess, could be a game-changer, especially when paired with younger talents like Odafoa, Tavius Robinson, and Malik Ham. And speaking of the Ravens' defense, it's worth noting that they've invested heavily in the offseason to keep their core intact. They re-signed key players like Ronnie Stanley, who was vital to their offensive line, and added new pieces like DeAndre Hopkins to bolster the receiving core. But the defense remains a cornerstone, with veterans like Kyle Van Noy, who's been vocal about Lamar Jackson's potential to elevate his game even further. Van Noy recently said during an appearance on ESPN's NFL Live that Jackson is already playing on another level but believes he can take it even higher. That kind of confidence from a seasoned veteran only fuels the belief that Baltimore's star quarterback is destined for another record-breaking year. And listen, Jackson's 2023 season was one of the most impressive in NFL history for a quarterback. He topped his own previous benchmarks, showcasing not just his rushing ability but also improving his passing accuracy and decision-making. Jackson's stats last season were remarkable: over 300 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions, all while rushing for over 700 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. It was a season that had Ravens fans dreaming of playoff success and even Super Bowl glory. And if Jackson can keep progressing, with a defense that's even more ferocious, Baltimore could be a nightmare for opposing offenses. But here's the kicker: Van Noy and other Ravens defenders believe Jackson still has untapped potential, and his desire to improve each game is evident. Ravens fans, you have a quarterback who's not just talented but hungry to be the best. Now, imagine adding a veteran pass rusher like Clowney back into that mix. The chemistry, the familiarity, and the hunger for success could make Baltimore's defense even more formidable in 2024. And Clowney himself remains optimistic. He's been vocal about his confidence in his abilities and his desire to keep playing at a high level. Just recently, he told The Athletic's Joseph Person, "I'm definitely gonna play well. You can mark my words on that. I don't care where I end up playing, I'm gonna play extremely well." That's the kind of attitude that Ravens fans love, someone who's motivated, confident, and ready to prove himself again. Clowney added that he has more in the tank than people think, and after a season in Carolina where he registered 5 sacks in 14 games, he's still a player who can impact the game from multiple angles. Now, let's talk about the specifics. The Ravens, as we know, drafted Mike Green in the second round to add youth and explosiveness to their edge rush. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. With Clowney potentially returning, Baltimore could have a formidable rotation of pass rushers, capable of rotating fresh legs and keeping offenses guessing. Plus, with veterans like Van Noy and Jadeveon, they're building a defense that's versatile, aggressive, and relentless. The team's overall strategy seems clear. They want to maximize Lamar Jackson's prime years and bolster their defensive front to become a playoff juggernaut. And it's not just about the on-field performance. The Ravens have been very strategic in their offseason moves, emphasizing continuity and adding key pieces through the draft and free agency. Their draft picks, like safety Malachi Starks and edge rusher Mike Green, are high-value selections that fit the team's immediate needs. Starks, a first-round pick, is a versatile safety with a high football IQ, and Green, in the second round, is a raw but talented pass rusher with the potential to develop into a star. These additions, combined with a possible reunion with Clowney, could give Baltimore one of the most well-rounded defenses in the league. Of course, the AFC North remains fiercely competitive. The Steelers, under new leadership, are rumored to be in pursuit of a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, which could shake things up even more. The Bengals are trying to improve their defense to complement Burrow's high-powered offense, and the Browns are hoping Deshaun Watson can finally find consistency. But the Ravens, with their solid roster, strategic planning, and a quarterback who's entering his prime, still look like the team to beat in the division. And let's not forget, the NFL landscape has been changing rapidly. With the NFL draft behind us and most free agents signed, teams are now focused on training camp preparations, roster battles, and fine-tuning their schemes for the season. Ravens fans, you should be excited. The team is in a strong position, and adding a player like Clowney could be the finishing touch to a roster that's already looking very promising. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, what are the chances of this reunion actually happening? Well, given Clowney's own words and the Ravens' history of bringing back familiar faces, I'd say it's a real possibility. Clowney expressed his desire to keep playing at a high level and seems open to returning to Baltimore if the opportunity arises. The Ravens know what he brings to the table, and with their defensive line coach and front office having previous experience coaching him, that familiarity could work in everyone's favor. Plus, Clowney's leadership and veteran presence could be exactly what Baltimore needs to push their defense into elite status. As the NFL continues to evolve into a passing league, pass rushers who can disrupt quarterbacks are gold, and Clowney remains one of the most explosive threats in that regard. Imagine him alongside Oa, Green, and Van Noy. Beyond just their individual talents, the chemistry and experience could make all the difference in close games and playoff battles. Now, let me quickly mention one more thing that's been on everyone's mind. How does this potential move fit into the bigger picture of the Ravens' plans? Well, it's clear they want to contend now. They're not just building for the future, they want to win right now. Bringing Clowney back would send a strong message to the league that Baltimore is serious about competing at the highest level. It's also about creating a culture of winning, of having guys who know what it takes to succeed in the playoffs, and Clowney's track record speaks for itself. And fans, you know as well as I do that when the Ravens are firing on all cylinders, they're one of the most exciting teams to watch in the NFL. The energy, the physicality, the strategic genius of their coaching staff, everything comes together when the pieces fit. And right now, rumors and reports suggest that the possibility of Clowney rejoining Baltimore is more than just speculation, it's a real consideration, and it could happen sooner rather than later. So, stay tuned, because this story isn't over. As we get closer to training camp and the preseason, keep an eye on official announcements and reports. The Ravens might just surprise us all with a familiar face returning to the fold, ready to chase another Super Bowl run. The defense, the pass rush, the leadership, everything could align perfectly for Baltimore, and Clowney's potential return might be the final piece of that puzzle. And now, Baltimore Ravens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Clowney still has what it takes to be a difference maker in Baltimore? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him back in purple and black? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Ravens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Baltimore Ravens news, rumors, and analysis. Thanks for watching, and let's keep the Purple Pride alive.